Here, we keep our foot on the neck of false teachings and challenge Euro-Christian ideologies head-on. We stand on facts over beliefs, insertions and assumptions as we journey together on a path of pure righteousness, guided by true African spirituality or Alkebulan wisdom. Each episode is part of a powerful movement to reclaim our identity, uplift our community, and walk in the power of truth. Tune in nightly at 9 p.m. for transformative insights and hard-hitting discussions as we unmask hidden truths and rise to our fullest potential.
Yeah. Guess what, people? Your brother man from the motherland is back once again. Back to give you guys the facts over the beliefs. For those that don't know who I am him, Junes at NBIC. And of course, you know, I represent that ROD. Definitely going to give a shout out to the Heavenlies. Definitely want to give a shout out to their ancestries. And definitely want to give a shout out to my YouTube families and everybody that's part of this awakening and, you know, doing the due diligence to enlighten and shed light on this world that needs to be in complete darkness. Yes, round of applause for that. Yes, I said complete darkness. Yeah, man. You know, you guys was with me earlier as I went through, riding through the hood, getting a lineup, and then, you know, going to see my client and whatnot. And, you know, there was a lot to speak on. And I know you guys know that I said I was going to talk about, you know, religion is the black man's birth defect, right? And I said, you know what? I want to talk about that, but I want to address the social media world right now. So on YouTube right now, it seems like a lot of people are taking the opportunity to bash this man named Billy Clarkson. But anyway, this brother was basically put on trial. And, you know, when I say put on trial, he encountered a well knowledgeable European when it comes to the story of Jesus. And the internet is in an outrage, and everybody's like, you see, he's a false prophet. He don't know what he's talking about. He's this, he's that. Like, everybody's running with the narrative of that energy that comes with the fact that, you know, the brother didn't answer the questions accordingly. I then seen a video of him rebuttaling this so-called debate, and through it was lies. Like, you can see the chink in the armor, you can see, and I'm not the one to be on the bashing trip. In fact, I'm gonna tell you guys the honest truth. The reason why brother man got annihilated when it came to the doctrine, the Christian doctrine, by this European is because the story is not about you. The story was not about you. It never was for you, but it was given to you to control you. That's what the story was. But the story was not about you. There's no evidence of where he dwelled, who he chilled with, where was his homies. There's no evidence of nothing. In fact, you can't trace the lineage down to any character in the Bible. You can't trace their lineage. This is supposed to be prestige people, and you can't trace it. This is the reason why Billy Clarkson lost. He lost because he was trying to go tips and tabs with a story that was only going to be fully understood by the ones that created it. You see, the ones that don't know nothing are the ones that's going to tell you that you have to be in a different dimension. When they say you got to be in the spirit, you got to be in a different dimension to understand old English. because that's just what it is. You're literally learning old English. You got to be in a trance. Hey, my brother, listen, my brother. This is how you supposed to get the spirit of God in you. You got to be part of the trance. You got to be part of the hypnosis. So that's why Billy Clarkson lost. That's why it seems like he was literally destroyed within the debate. Now, there's a lot of things that he do talk about that I find very questionable. But the reason why I'm able to find it questionable is because I'm also done studies and read and like, oh, word? Oh, let me go look into that. Oh, yeah, see, that's the missing piece to the stuff that I was already looking into. But there's a lot of things that he say that's very questionable. But then at the same time, there's a lot of things that he say is very factual, right? Yeah, I said it, factual. Okay? Put that in the dictionary of June. Factual. You heard? So he says a lot of factual things, and it's like, yo, yeah, this is about right. Oh no, he's correct. Oh, for real. Oh, and it explains, right? And when he stood face to face with this European scholar, I don't know his name, his origin, as far as what I mean, like his job. All I know is this man is he's one of those dudes that's in the scriptures. He's him. He's them. You know what I'm saying? So when he stood before him and the questions and the rebuttals and, you know, everything that came along with it, I understood it. But I understood why Billy lost. Billy lost because he was trying to go head to head with the juggernauts. And for those that you know, that's into the word or into debates, when it comes to religion, when it comes to the black man debating the European, according to the Bible, like if it's based on Bible studies and understanding, the black man gets smoked all the time. And I seen the top of the top dudes that has thousands of followers get smoked into shreds. And the reason behind that is because this story was a story created for them, by them, given to you to control you. Okay? The story is for them and by them, and was only given unto you to control you. That's the only reason why you guys are even given the allowance. You are allowance to read this Biblos. Is because of the purpose of what it's going to do to you psychologically. You see, the author of the story knows the theme of the story, so they can never get off course. They can never be emotionally tied because they are the ones that set in the stage. You, on the other hand, the reader, the dissector, the researcher, the studier, you. If the foundation of that wasn't installed into you from young, when you get older, you will depart, which is happening now. You will be broken apart, which is happening now. Billy is just another casualty of war. But if Billy was to check this out, but if Billy was to dive deep into African history, African culture, African this, African that, and he had allowed that the ancestors to dwell in him, there would have been stuff that he knows that the European would not be able to answer. In fact, not only would he not be able to answer, 9 out of 10 times the European will want to change the history event to something Caucasian. This is facts. Because they will tell you, oh, I'm not privy to such ideology. But when it comes to the story of Jesus, when it comes to the story of Greek, when it comes to the story of Caesar, when it comes to the story of Zeus, when it comes to the story of Madonna, when it comes to the story of all of these things, anything pertaining to the Biblos, when it comes to that story, they know it with their eyes closed, and they would devour anybody. Doesn't matter your level of scholarship. You will be dismantled when it comes to such things. And I've been seeing this lately, like at least 10 times a month. I see stuff like this. And I say to myself, well, okay, then, I know the ancestors is showing me something. So what is this that's being shown to me? Because I know it's not for me to pick up the pieces and where the brothers and sisters messed up at, take up those pieces and then put my little twist to it and put myself in the crossfire, throw myself out there and say, yeah, I want that debate too. I want that smoke. That's not what I'm getting. What I'm getting is a revelation, and trying to a revelation into something showing me that this ideology, it has absolutely nothing to do with us. That's the energy I get. Like, oh, this has nothing to do with us. Time and time again, it be us trying to defend a story that we have no recollection of. Prior to the colonial invasion, we had absolutely no recollection of anything coming out of the Biblos. We had no recollection. We don't know what Passover was. We don't know what Easter was. We don't know what Christmas is. We don't know the Feast of Tabernacles, and we don't know these things. These things was newly introduced to us in the late 1800s, early 1900s. When it's pertaining to the order that black colored people, the El Kebule kidnaps, believed to be the individuals out of the Biblos. That came in the late 1800s, early 1900s. That ideology made its way into our space at that time. Prior to that, we had no connection of that. Prior to that, our people was being hung, killed, slaughtered for not accepting such ideology prior to that. So if all of these things happen prior, then that means that this is not for us. You understand? Listen, hey, I'm just saying. But Billy Clarkson was never going to win this fight. Just like any other. No Hebrew's gonna win the fight. No black man is gonna win the fight. Nobody's gonna win the fight. If you're standing in front of them, you're not gonna win. But if you stand in front of your own, you might get a point across. If you stand before them, you might get a point across. Peace, Black Girl Magic. If you stand before them, you might get a point across. If you stand before your own, you might get a point across, because both of y'all is just going to regurgitate information given unto you by those people. So when you stand in front of those people, if those people want to dissect you and put you into a child state, they can do that because they have that knowledge. They have that research. They have that access. They was told the story from the very beginning. You was given the story after it was completed. They was given the story when it was being created. Okay? When it was just a bunch of words written on a sheet of paper before it hit the press and got printed to millions, and the rock means millions of books. They had that access. We didn't. Nor did we desire to even partake in trying to know that. Because this ideology, again, is not something that's in us. And I'm gonna show you. Matter of fact, Let me play some. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. Let me show you guys something. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me put some in it. Is this it? No, this is not it. Where's my screen? Oh, there we go. Alright. So this is me. So this is me asking ChatGPT a question. And it says, why in Africa they have biblical names, but in a language Africans didn't speak, which is English? It says the prevalence of biblical names in English among African populations is largely a result of what? Colonialism and missionary influence. Here is the breakdown of why this occurred. So you got colonial imposition of language. During the colonial era, listen carefully, European powers such as Britain and France imposed their language on African society. English in particular became the primary medium of education, governance, and listen carefully, people, and religion in many colonized regions. Okay, African names and languages was often marginalized or suppressed, and European language became a marker of status or civilization. Okay, let's go to number 2. Christian missionary activities. Christian missionaries played a significant role in spreading the Bible and Christian teachings in Africa. As part of their efforts, they introduced biblical names as part of the baptism and the conversion rituals. Let me read that again, because people is gonna say I be wildin'. Christian missionaries played a significant role in spreading the Bible and Christian teachings in Africa. The Bible and Christian teachings in Africa. The Bible and Christian teachings in Africa. These are individuals that was doing their job, right? As part of their efforts, they introduced biblical names as part of baptism and conversion rituals. Missionaries often translated the Bible into local languages, but retained many names in their original biblical forms, Hebrew, Greek, or Latin, which were then angelicized, okay? Association of names with Christianity. Adopting biblical names in English became a significant religious identity and alignment with Christian values. This practice was encouraged by colonial government and missionaries, and it was seen as part of the Christianizing African society. Okay, this is the erosion of the indigenous names and practices. Colonial and missionary idolaters often portrayed African religion name as pagan or inferior. Oftentimes, many Africans adopted biblical names in English as a way to conform to the social expectations and gain acceptance in the colonial or Christian dominated settings. Okay? And I'm not, and you know, matter of fact, let me just read 5 because it stops at 5. It says, legacy of colonial education. Schools established by missionaries use English as the language of instruction and require students to adopt English or biblical names. This practice left a lasting legacy as many of these names were passed down through generations, right? So, the reason why I put that there is because the notion or the story is that, you know, you can see old maps, and old maps had, you know, biblical names. For example, on the west side of Africa, I believe, or if I'm not mistaken, the right side going towards Botswana or Zimbabwe, is it the Nile or the Jordan River? The Nile or the Jordan River is on that side. Now, I'm not here to cause. I'm not here to cause strife. I'm just here to get clarity. You have to make this make sense to me. So, Jordan is an English term. It's like the name, even the writing is English. It's not African. It has no alkebulan. The way the alkebulan spelled their name, first of all, the mass majority of the name has to end with an I. Ends with an I, ends with an A, it ends with something not normal. Right? Now, I lost my train of thought. Wow, it literally just slipped my mind. But anyway, wow, it really slipped my mind. It really slipped my mind. But when it comes to me, I'll bring it back. But the moral of it is the ideology is not of us. Okay? They changed the names. The names literally got changed. The names really got changed after they colonized. Okay, now it came back to me. So now that's the question that I'm asking, because it ends with the K and the I and et cetera, et cetera. So you're going to tell me that the name like the Jordan River was the original name and it was changed, or we changed it, or they changed it, but that was the name. But it's like, okay, so you're telling me that we speak English? So how does what's the original name? It's not Jordan. It can't be the Jordan River. So if it can't be the Jordan River, but yet you see the Jordan River in South Africa or any place in Africa, you see that name, you have to question it, because when did Africans start speaking English? That's not our original tongue. That water, that lake, that view has always been there before there was anything called religion, before there was anything called religion, before there was Christianity, before there was Europeans. What was the name of that river? We did not speak no English. If I do not speak English, I then cannot name something into an English name. You guys need to realize that when your country got colonized and it was overtaken, and when you see the things that I'm reading and how the schools and how the mercenaries was literally creating names, made it it was mandatory for you to speak English. When you see stuff like that, then this is how you know that this story has absolutely nothing to do with us. You know that these people are creating these locations, putting these titles. Like I showed you guys, Mamre was created in 1808. Who created it? Dutchmen. Why are they creating it? Because they had to establish that place like their own. After they're done with the middle, they coming into the twinkle. And that's what you see happening right now. You're witnessing this occur right before you. It doesn't make sense. We don't know nothing about Jesus. We don't. Hold on, let me see if I got the other one. So I asked ChatGPT to provide me any historical facts about Jesus. I need facts, right? Matter of fact, let me just show you the screen because I want you guys to witness this too. Okay? So I asked that question. It says the historical figure of Jesus Christ is complex and much debated subject. While religious beliefs and traditions shape much of what is known about him, there are some generically accepted facts about Jesus based on historical and scholarly research. Again, historical and scholarly. You didn't see nothing of archaeological There's no physical evidence. There's not even the slipper that man walked on that people would save and said this was the big toe his foot went in. It went in here. Come on. You don't even get that. But this is facts supported by historical events. Okay, this is the argument. Is that Jesus of Nazareth lived in the 1st century. Most scholars. So then this is up for debate. You gonna believe it? I'm not. Again, the story is based on beliefs. Beliefs does not override the facts. Okay, what you believe in, what you think, doesn't make it facts. It's just a belief. And listen to what's being said. It says most scholars agree that Jesus was a Jewish preacher who lived in the region of Judea and Galilee during the 1st century. He was crucified. Roman historical sources such as the writing of Tacitus and Josephus corroborate that Jesus was crucified under the governance of Pontius Pilate. Now, this right here, I can't dispute that. Why? Because these archers and these writers was Europeans. My issue is when us black people try to make these characters become black and say that the theme and the story took place in a region full of blacks. That I cannot accept. Because if the way that this story is put together, the way that the information is being delivered, trust me, our people will still remember that. But the fact that we don't remember it lets me know that this is a problem. Right? We don't know about no crucifixion. You can go to the land right now. You can speak to the people right now. If you was to ask them anything to prove that this man is one of us, prove it. They're gonna give you a revelation. They're gonna take you to Revelation. They're gonna take you to Daniel's. They're gonna take you to the minute thing that says, okay, yes, I hear you, but I also need you to prove this. Where can I touch this information? That's when you're gonna get hit with, well, my brother, we still working on it, or you gotta believe. Just have faith, my brother. You gotta believe. Trust in the Lord. The Lord is the way. He is the key. He is my shepherd. You are a sheep, kid. But that's neither here nor there, right? He had a following. Jesus was known as a teacher and a healer who attracted disciples and followers, many of whom believed he was the Messiah. Okay, the gospel documents his life. Okay, let's see. This is the Jesus text. This is the Biblo text writing. Jesus was Jewish. Okay. He thought about love and compassion. Okay. Now, this is where it's at. It says facts that are contested or difficult to prove. Miracles and divinity. Counts of Jesus' miracle, resurrection, and divine nature are based on what? It's based on what? Faith and theological interpretation. Remember what I said. No insertions. Facts over beliefs, assertions, and assumptions. Okay? Interpretations rather than historical evidence. Okay, specific details of his life, exact dates of birth and death, what he looked like, and many details of his daily life remains uncertain and are debated. Okay, it is debated. This is not the facts. This is not the truth. This is just another debatable story. Okay. If our Savior was hung on a tree and anywhere in Africa, our people will remember that. Our people would remember that. Our people would remember, damn, remember such and such? such and such. Nobody can remember this. The story of Jesus is always the same story from the very beginning of it being given unto us. The story has not left our minds. It has not changed anything. And we can't identify these things to be factual or just another lie. This is the facts. So when I see people like Billy Clarkson, Lawson, Dawson, whatever. When I see Billy get his ass whooped and I see black people get their ass whooped, bro, you're gonna continue getting your ass whooped. Because this ideology, remember, their understanding of Jesus is different from ours. They're seeing this story of Jesus from a superior aspect. You're seeing this story of Jesus from a Serbian aspect. You are in servitude. You will never be able to out-teach them, idolize them when it comes to the understanding. The ideology behind this, you can never outsmart them when it comes to this. My advice to my people is stop wasting your time learning Euro-Christian ideology. Stop wasting your time. Take the time out. Why you got access to the internet? Why you got access to YouTube? Why you got access to TikTok? They talking about removing TikTok. So why you got these access? Start learning about your culture. Start learning about your people. Start learning about African history. It really doesn't cost a thing. It really doesn't cost a thing just to give this information 5 minutes of your time. You spend 5 minutes listening to pure madness. You can give 5 minutes to understand your ancestral lineage, or at least get a foundation of that. I feel like every colored person on the face of this earth should be doing that. Yes, you are a slave, but because you are a slave, does that determine how far back you go, or you're going to let your history start from being free from slavery, Martin, and the civil rights, and the Civil War, and all of this? You gonna want that? That's the beginning of your history, or you want to know what was we doing prior to the invasion? How was we living? How was we treating each other? Because from what I see, from what the Julius Caesar mentality, from what it has taught me to hate self. It has taught me to hate you. It has taught me to hate everything that has anything or everything that has a complexion of myself. It was taught to hate. It was taught to conquer. I was taught to steal, rob. That's the mentality of a Caesar. And the Biblos justify being a Caesar. Render Caesar's what is Caesar. That they tell you that in the Bible. So even the Biblos know to pay homage to the Caesar. But yet you're gonna tell me that this is the word of God. Yeah. You're going to tell me that this is the word of God. The word of God now is associated with Caesar. Come on now. We really gotta do better when it comes to the times that we are in. We really gotta wake up and come to the realization that the war never stopped, man. Never forget that people came into your house unannounced, kicked you, punched you dead in your mouth, and took you to a slave route that you have yet to figure out. You see where all of that rhymes? You know what I'm talking about, babe? It's because it's meant to go together. It seems that we have forgotten that people came into your space unannounced and took your children, and took your wife, took your daughter, took your grandma, and did whatever they did to them. And those that was rebellion, they was or they was shipped there. I don't know why I have to still in 2024 talk like this as a reminder, because it seems that we have forgotten that. Because they allow you to put the makeup and the jewelry and go on vacation and travel and doing things that the slave stories didn't never get a chance to do. You forgot that you still in the warfare. You forgot that they patting you on your back, telling you are a good slave. Listen, you can go away, but make sure you got 2 weeks to come back. Okay? We don't want to fire your ass. Show me that you are a good slave. And you come back like a slave supposed to that following 2 weeks. And guess what you're going to do in them 2 weeks? You're going to have a story to tell. Girl, tell me about that trip. Yeah. Now, one time did you say, yo, fam, listen, son. They got to exit. I found the money. I found the keys. I found the weaponry. I seen some warriors. They need some recruitments. Oh no, those conversations don't have. Oh no, because you had 2 weeks. You get 2 weeks to even taste good. You get 2 weeks to taste freedom. But then when it's all said and done, you gotta come right back to Eden. Yeah, the garden of the snakes. You gotta come back. The United Snakes of America. You gotta come back to the Garden of Eden. Come here, Adam. Come take care of this Eve until she kills your ass. Hey, is that metaphorical, June? Why you talking like this, man? Why are you talking like this? You know why? Because it seems like they just don't comprehend. Tell a friend. You understand? You see how simple it is? We forgotten. I ain't forget. As much as I gotta be around and do, like I said, I show love to everybody. Let's get that clear. I don't walk around with any vengeance and murder. That's because it's not in my nature. I'm also not gonna minimize or diminish or try to forget what happened to my ancestors. That I'm not going to do. Nor am I going to betray my ancestors. Nor am I going to do things in violation of my ancestors. That I will not do. But I will be cordial. I'll be respectful. Because I have to be the darkness. Yeah, you heard me. The darkness for my brother man. Right? Don't give me this light story. None of my them don't need to be no light no more. The niggas wanted to be the lights and find out they was walking in with vaginas. Okay? No more lights. Be in pure darkness. When you're in darkness, you have no choice but to be a man. I'm just saying. It's time for us to start walking in darkness. No more Sean Paul. No more just give me the light. No. Turn that light off. Matter of fact, this light that's in front of me right now, I'm getting ready to turn it off. You see the background is usually black, but we're going to turn it off. We're going to uphold everything black. Like I said, anything that they tell you is right, is wrong. And anything they tell you is wrong is 9 out of 10 times is probably right. When it comes to spirituality, when it comes to our creators, our gods, our identity, anything that they tell you is wrong is the opposite. Oh, this is not right. So you better do it. If they say it's not right, I'm doing it 3 times. If they say it's right and it's the proper method and this procedure will protect you, yeah, I'm going to do the opposite. Because anytime these people say they're going to protect somebody ends up taking part of their protection plan and then end up being crazier than a Taliban. You hear me? We're good. No, I will pass. But to Billy Clarkson, you lost because you're going against their story. Me, I lost because I am upholding their story. You are mad at me because I'm no longer teaching their story. I'm coming to get mines. I'm going to learn mines. I'm going to figure out exactly who I am and what I am. And I know that who I am has absolutely nothing to do with the things they tell me is the definition of a man, because they ain't done anything manly from the very beginning. And I'm not going to forget, nor am I going to step away. I'm always going to stand 10 toes down for my people. I'm always going to tell you the reason why you drowning. The reason why you drown is because you still believe in the clown. You think Krusty the Clown is going to come and save you from the crusty town. No. Krusty not going to take care of the musty. Okay? The musty got to create their own dusty. You got to do it. We got to do it. And the only reason why they're not bothering us, and the only reason why they're not regulating things like this that I'm saying, is because they know that they got the entire black civilization under their control. Whether you in Africa to America, as long as there's a 7,000-foot church and the big face on the top, whether it's inside or on top of the church, is an image of the cross or Jesus himself. As long as those things is there and it's packed every single Sunday, they can care less on what brothers and sisters like myself got to say. Because they know that they still got the biblical Jesus song. In his hands he got the whole world. In his hands he got the whole wide world. This is the Jesus story. Jesus got the whole wide world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. Come on now. He got the whole world. Jesus got the whole entire world in his hands right now. This is his kingdom. Who told you it wasn't? Who told you the kingdom was to come? Jesus. And then from the time that story was created to now, the kingdom came. The kingdom came in 3 ships. The ships was called what? The ship of Jesus. Oh, Dana. And then the ship of Jesus arrived. And then they told them niggas, it's either you get on part on this side or you're going to be a genocide. Our people didn't even know what genocide was. Just like we didn't even know what Genesis was. They said, what is that? And they said, let me show you. And then they were violating. And those that remain, they said, look at this book right here. This is the book of our God. That is your God. Our God brought me to your land because this land is so savagery. I don't know how such savages got all these bananas and watermelons and these lions and tigers, and we over here eating crickets and maggots. You know we're gonna smoke these. You can't even say this word without them being penalized, but you know what I mean. I hope you guys are able to process this and internalize. Huh? That's how they came. And they said, we're going to trade with you. Yeah, take some of our women. Take some of, yeah. What? These niggas was giving away their daughters like it was crack. Man, you want, I have no use for this woman. And guess what? You take them and then you take them and you train them and then you breed them and then you teach them your spirituality, and then they go back home for their festivals, because they don't miss their festivals. No, never. They go back to Europe to Sickly Winky, okay? And they pull up there and they tell everything. Mama, Papa, these people pray like this, and these people eat like that, and they need this, and they need that. They say, interesting. Go tell the king. The king comes. The king said, oh, really? Go tell Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus comes and say, oh, really? Let's go act like we're going to India. But then, well, we're going to go out there because now we need to put this to the test. We can't just miraculously just convert these people. So we're gonna find a land. Find some new land. And they go into this new land. They say, God damn this new land. But yet, this new land still got these niggers here. What should we do? Oh, figure them out. Okay, cool. Figure them out. Learn them. Study them. Process them. All of this is written in his diary, by the way. Read it. Type in Christopher Columbus diary so you can get an understanding. Study. This is what they do. They come into your space and they study. They learn. They know the do's and the don't do's. They know where you chill out. They know the things that you like and don't like. So then they're gonna create something that fits everybody's narrative, similar to what they're doing to our women. Women are now competing with themselves at the highest order. I find it absurd. I find it absurd that our women is literally competing with themselves, with each other. What? We're so worrying about not making this woman take my man and this and that. We're worrying about that, but we forgetting about the bigger picture. What's that bigger picture, June? The fact that we are at war. That we don't measure ourselves with each other. We lift each other up. With one down, we both down. We both get up. We two powerful forces. Man and woman, woman and man. And sisterhood. Vice versa. You ain't supposed to be measuring yourself to show that the other the other crabs in the barrel, oh, I'm better than you. When the objective is to always let them know, the people that's in those positions, the opposite, that no matter how much money you have, no matter how much things that you do, you can never be a better mother. You can never be a better wife. You can never be a better rider. You can never be a better supporter. You would never be better than this ride or die. We don't do divorce. We ride till it's over. Good, bad, and endeavor. We do that. You don't. That's what we used to do. Now, we want to keep up with the Joneses. And like we forgot that Jim Jones is the nigga that was killing. But we want to keep up with the Joneses. Huh? Exactly. But I didn't want that to be about that, but I had to get that off my chest. You understand? Because I'm sick and tired of my ladies competing with each other. What the heck are you competing for? You competing for likes? You competing for attention? These things are irrelevant. It's not going to gain you freedom. It's not going to gain you protection. All it's going to do is vandalize your ass. All it's going to do is take advantage of your ass. And then when it's all said and done, you're going to be that bitter old black woman with nothing but regrets, because we have forgotten about the number one threat. And that's the ones that put you in the projects. You hear what I'm saying? They're not listening to me. Gunshot salute. You understand what I'm saying? Pissing me off. But it's time for us to just give up on this ideology called this trying to prove to Europeans that we know more about the Jesus story than them. We will never know more. Nor should we even desire to know more. Okay, you know all that? All right, cool. Okay, and keep it pushing. That's not for me. That's not for us. The same people that's invested into this ideology, tell them to break down African spirituality. Tell me about it. We'll have no answer. We will have no answer. I will tell you about Jesus, Mary, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I can tell you all about that. But I can't even name you 5 South African presidents. From past to now, we can't even name 5. From the current president back to 5 presidents, back to Nelson Mandela. We can't even do that. But know everything about Jesus, though. Even though that we have no evidence. At least we got evidence that Nelson Mandela lived. You don't have no evidence that Jesus lived. Just another belief. And this belief is the reason why we suffer. Yeah, I know. One day you'll get it. One day, the El Kebulan kidnapped will only stand on the facts. The kidnaps. And that is a fact. But with that being said, people, it's your brother man from the motherland. Came to you guys live. Once again, continue supporting. Please leave all your feedback, the positive, the negative. All things is respected and needed, because it allows me to do what I do best. You heard me. And that is to continue keeping my foot on these heathens, Hebrews, Hedonites, and all these other religions that's destroying our lives, like Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Hebrewism, Bantuism, and every other isms that's keeping us in spiritual prison. I am the one, I am him, Jones, the MBIC, that's going to destroy these isms. Are you down or are you down? It's your brother, man. You understand? And I'ma holler at y'all. One.